Hi everyone, welcome back to the 5710 podcast. This time it's our last episode before the Christmas break, and it's best to last. We've got Soren Nielsen from Vandkunsten, who were founded in 1970, and they pride themselves on their sensitive attitude to design, which is wholly focused around people. The practice aimed to design buildings around the ways people live, work, play and think, and their architecture rarely draws attention to itself, but seeks to engage in a dialogue with the people and communities that use it. Vandkunsten's almost 5-decade-long effort has been acknowledged with numerous awards and accolades from both Denmark and abroad, and they have been nominated for the Mies van der Rohe Award on 5 occasions. Welcome to Aberdeen, Soren.
Thank you very much.
I think this is the first time you've been here yet?
Yeah, it's a nice experience, and it's my third visit to Scotland.
Okay. You explored Aberdeen this morning, didn't you? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was just as grey as I've been hoping for. The weather report said sunshine, but fortunately it was raining.
So you like that it was raining?
I think
nice
I experienced the authentic Aberdeen atmosphere. Yeah.
Oh well, I hope you enjoy what little other time you have in Aberdeen today before you go back, and hope you come back soon as well.
Yeah.
So a big focus within the practice is forming and aiding communities through your architecture. What are the kind of ways that you integrate design that manage to achieve this in the buildings?
First and foremost, I think we live ourselves into the assignment. We are not only architects; we are also users of building, and we always try to feel in our stomach and other organs what would we like, how would we like it to be if we were ourselves to use this building, to live in it, and what kind of things would we not like. So that is why we have a strong propensity for non-formal materials and non-conform atmospheres. Yeah. We always like to dress down the building to make people relax as much as possible, because what we like to feel ourselves when we are in a building or anywhere else. It's nice to feel relaxed. It's nice to be surrounded by warm materials. And we have the belief, which we cannot prove, but we think that people act more social, they're more polite, they speak more in eye level if they are surrounded by materials which support it, and might be such materials as wood, for instance. So we have a strong propensity for using wood in interiors and exteriors and everywhere.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of something that some architects might forget sometimes, that they are people as well. So it's good to think of how the users would like to use the buildings.
Yeah, but I think some of architects perhaps they are not able to engage that focus. I mean, of course, you should be focused on the shape of the building and its design performance, but you should at the same time there should be excessive amounts of energy and effort in you, so you could give priority to the feeling of being there as an ordinary user, forgetting about the architecture. The best thing is if you can have a really good time in a certain architectural surrounding, but you do not think about that architecture at all. Forget it.
So you're Director of Research and Development at Vandkunsten, and looking at the website and listening to the talk that you've just given, you do a lot of research within the practice. Is that an important thing for architects to do, to integrate research more into the field of architecture?
Yeah, I think it is, because we have always based our practice on indignation and critical attitudes towards what is going on in society, and perhaps some decades ago it was enough just to be polemic and engage in political debates, but today it's I think we will need to employ documentation as a most important tool. So if we want to push a certain agenda, we should be very precise in our communication and our documentation that we are right in this. And it could be about the reuse of materials, and we will have to do meticulously life cycle assessment. And if it's about wood, then we will also force ourselves to document the qualities, and not only to talk about it, not to let it stay with the hype. Otherwise, for instance, economists or lawyers, they would not accept our arguments.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of backing everything up. So I was looking through your Instagram as well, and I know you don't have a personal place on the Instagram, but I urge everyone to look at it because it gives a really good view into how Vandkunsten works. Is that quite important to you and the practice as a whole to be accessible to the public and give a very easy to read view of how the practice works?
Yeah, I think it is, but I must admit, I'm really happy that you found our Instagram profile. I rarely see it myself, and it is important. But having said that, I must admit that we are really not good at communicating. We are so much behind, and we can see how some other offices they are communicating very strongly. If they have perhaps less good results, they will communicate them just the stronger, and we are a little envious, but we are not natural born communicators. We are. No, we are too modest, and we are also too busy actually.
Because you've got a kind of Christmas calendar sort of thing going on at the moment.
Okay.
It shows every day there's a new bit of information about the practice.
That's nice.
And I really liked that. It was really cool. So I'll put a link to that in the bio for the YouTube video because I think it's really good for for other people to see that. So within Vandkunsten, you've worked on both the biggest project and the smallest project.
Yeah.
Is there a big difference in how you approach these projects? Because you said earlier that you're always on a tight budget, but obviously the budget does change depending on how big the project is.
Well, basically there's no difference really, but there's a huge difference in how many people it involves, and how many meetings we'll have to. How much dialogue with clients and users? Of course there is, but no, the principles that we pursue in terms of social quality and material quality, and there might be other specific qualities in an assignment. No, it's not different from it doesn't. Depend on the scale, really.
Mm-hmm. And you also, because you tutor or you help the research students in the architecture school, and you obviously come over to other countries to do talks, and you said you guest lectured in Vienna as well.
Yeah.
Is that an important part of your job and the architect's job as well, to go around and I call them extracurricular activities? Is that important to you as well?
Yeah, but it is important because but it's not planned. Yeah. But I'm very grateful because each time I add to my pile of cases, and you get more and more experience, and you can by doing the same. For instance, the reuse experiments over and over again, you can see some patterns in it, and then you can be sharper on how to obtain the real profits from it. I'm not speaking about economic profits,
Learning,
but the value gaining of the design processes. It's quite significant actually, how it takes place.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting to the closing end of the podcast. So we've got two questions that we ask everybody that come in. They're a bit more light-hearted than the other ones. So what's your favourite memory from your architectural career, whether when you're in uni or in the office, that kind of keeps you going when things get tough, or a favourite story that might have cropped up when you were working in uni?
Yeah, I always think back on the a pencil image which was made by my former partner Jens Arnfred, which I saw as a first year student, and I wasn't sure that I was really going to be an architect, but meeting this pencil drawing, and I've just shown it actually in the lecture. That was when I knew that you could do art as an architect. It was not merely a technical discourse. It was also something with a very, very high art potential.
Yeah. Okay. So final one. A student of architecture might go on a grand tour around the world to see certain buildings or cities. So what would be your recommendation for one building and one city that a student of architecture might go to on a wider grand tour?
Then I would mention the Emperor's Palace in Kyoto.
Okay.
It's from 1740, and it's the most sublime building I've seen in my life.
And the city?
That will be Kyoto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is there any other building, or is it just that's the two specific ones?
Every single building in Kyoto, which dates from which are older than or from before 1950 or something. Yeah, the historic.
Fabric,
The Kyoto is the most beautiful place in the world.
Okay, that's a good answer. I'm not sure everyone will be able to afford to go to Kyoto, but when we can, we'll go. So thank you very much for joining us for this last episode of this semester's podcast. We'll be releasing a new updated list of who's coming next semester, so keep an eye on the Facebook page for that. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you, Soren, for joining us.
Thank you.